The original Caverns of Mars comes from the Atari Program Exchange, which was a mail-order catalog for games and software submitted by Atari 400 and 800 users, mailed to everyone who sent in their warranty registration. Atari made money on every sale, as did the developers, and a few games were even released as part of the regular Atari software lineup. Caverns of Mars is one such title. It was made by a high school senior Greg Christensen in 1981. But it eventually proved popular enough to get its own commercial retail release. I myself had not heard of the game until it was released as part of Atari 50th anniversary celebration last year. Caverns of Mars Recharged takes the basic idea of the original and changes it pretty significantly. You're still moving down through a series of caves with plenty of enemies to dodge and shoot, but this time you're free falling unless you shoot, at which point you pause briefly before descending again. It's a bit like a game from 2015 called Downwell, if you've ever played that. You pick up fuel for your shots and different weapons as you go, and your score is based on maintaining a time-based multiplier, requiring you to move fast and get almost everything for the best score. Run out of fuel and you freefall without stopping, run out of health and it's game over. Caverns of Mars Recharged offers the typical online and friends-based leaderboards of the other Recharged titles, in addition to a series of missions which offer some easier and some extremely difficult challenges to overcome. Some of the hardest involve careful placement, resource management, and timing to get through rows of explosives. The game is a series of achievements, most of which are fairly easy to get, but one each requires completion of the arcade and missions modes. The game supports both the classic and modern controller and both work well. I think I prefer the classic due to the stick being a good way to nudge your ship, but the modern works well too. Classic Twist is not supported. The settings have a couple of important options. You can turn off screen shake and remove a warped fisheye effect, and I'd recommend it. Even so, I have to admit my eyes saw trails after playing the game for more than an hour due to the constant screen falling. It's something to think about if you're sensitive to motion sickness. Multiplayer is probably really fun, although I wasn't able to check it out with a second person. In this mode, the main player can't shoot but stops the fall, and the second player has to move and fire in a smaller second ship that stops when the first ship does. Multiplayer has its own leaderboards for both arcade and missions. Per usual, there are also some modifiers, a one-hit option that's too tough for me, a slower mode for a points penalty, and a mode where you play without power-ups and you just get health and fuel. Being careful about your between-level power-up selection is key. Making poor choices leaves you with too little fuel or not enough health. I found the best to be the fuel magnet, but the shield is another. Your between-level power-up stack, so countering lower fuel by giving yourself a fuel boost next round makes for decent strategy. I found Caverns of Mars the original to be challenging and fun, although I quickly hit a wall where I couldn't get further and kinda burned out on it. This new Recharge version is highly polished, creative, and challenging, and its scoring system puts your strategy to the test in addition to how well and how far you can go. There is a game over screen after you defeat the main enemy base, although I have yet to see it. Unlike the original, there's no escaping the base after setting the bomb, which is a shame in some ways. My understanding is the game just ends with a final score. Caverns of Mars Recharge is intense, choice-filled fun, and it could well end up being one of the best of the generally great line of Recharge games. As with the rest of the Recharge series, the game is just $10 and is a no-brainer for anyone into modern arcade gaming. Thanks for watching. I'll have more videos in the coming weeks, including a look at Residual. Liking helps spread the word, and subscribing gets these videos in your feed. Have fun!